Hello everybody, it's Aaron. Welcome to another episode of Feed the Beast. I am down here at the bottom of the mine right next to our house. You can see the village and stuff in the mini-map, and we hit the jackpot with lava. And I really like to use lava. If you watch me for any length of time, you should know that. Because it runs EU and MJ machines or generators well. I did a little bit of turtle mining. I found some stuff, not too much, mostly iron. But I said we were going to do the peat engine thing, and I already made the little manual peat farm, so we are going to do that. But we will switch over to magmatic engines very shortly, since there is an abundant supply of lava down here. I want to set up a pump and some liquiducts, because I messed around with liquiducts a little bit, and they're pretty awesome for transporting liquids and steam, from what I understand. I did a little bit of expanding, and I kind of started going this way, and I got to figure out where everything is going to get stored. I'm thinking about putting the machines here and then putting the storage over this direction. I wasn't thinking, and I made a coke oven in between episodes, as well as, I did a lot more mining. I've done the coke oven in a previous episode, so if you need to know about it, I can do it again, but I already kind of covered that. So if I can find it, if I remember, I'll put the link in the description. What we're going to do first of all, I need to make some red alloy wire. So let's just throw some of this in here. Silver and redstone makes this red alloy wire that will go on ceilings and walls and stuff. It's really awesome. It behaves kind of like redstone. Actually, sorry, it makes the ingot, and the 3 ingots make the wire. It's redstone, but it behaves a little differently, and it's for the better. For one, you can send a signal much farther, probably like, I don't know, I heard it was like 200 blocks or something like that, maybe more. But since that's done, you just do 3 up and down, and you get 12 of them. And that's good for us. I think I might have, I'm going to need a couple of these. So I've got everything set aside to make all our thermal expansion machines and a couple of engines. And I'm going to do the machines first, because since I've got copper in here, I've got enough to make 2 peat-fired engines. But I've got enough to make all 3 of the thermal expansion machines that we're going to need. So the first thing we're going to make is the pulverizer. And as you can see, it's 2 copper, the redstone reception coil. I'll hit R on that. It's redstone and gold. So let me sleep. I don't want anything to walk in here. So I went ahead and made those because I wanted to make the recipe, and I figured the easiest way to show this would be to just make plans. So we've got this plan. I'm going to make one of those for the pulverizer. I've got one for the powered furnace, and the pulverizer is kind of like the macerator. I've got one for the induction smelter as well. The pulverizer is kind of like the macerator. It pounds your ore into dust, but they call it pulverized whatever it is, like pulverized iron or pulverized gold or whatever. And then you cook it in the powered furnace. This induction smelter requires sand to work, which I don't think I have enough of, but it will also double your ore. But you don't have to pulverize and then cook it, you just cook it. You have to use this as well to make hardened glass. You have to like pulverize obsidian and then cook it together with lead. And we will do that in the future, because we're going to have to make hardened glass for liquiducts. And I think it also goes into the redstone energy cell. And I got enough to make 2 peat-fired engines. I didn't want to burn all my copper up before. If you don't know how to make this copper gear, you make a stone gear and a wooden gear first. The wooden gear is 4 sticks. And then you take this gear, put it in the middle, and then put cobblestone where the sticks are. Then you put the cobblestone gear, and then you put copper where the cobblestone is. So if you ever have to make a diamond gear, it's kind of a pain because you have to first make the wooden gear, then the stone gear, then the iron gear, then a gold gear, and then finally the diamond gear. So it takes 4 of everything to make one. We're also going to need we're going to make this conductive pipe. And I'm just going to make, actually I'll save 1 of those or 2 of those. We don't really need them for this, but I'm going to do it anyway. So let's eat an apple. And I want to make a chest while I'm over here because I forgot to try this before I started the episode, so we're going to try it right now. The cool thing about thermal expansion machines is they will actually transmit items to each other, and we'll see this in just a second. So let's make some area for our engines, and we only have 2 right now, but we will have more in the future. Let me redo that. I don't have a wrench yet. When you place an engine, I think it faces away from you or up. If you have your wooden conductive pipe in place already, it will actually face the wooden conductive pipe by default, so you don't have to make the wrench, and I'll show you the recipe for that. Just because you need this wrench, is a stone gear and 3 iron. That will change the orientation of your engines. And I'm just going to set these up for now. It's going to be pretty later on, but right now it's just going to be what it is. So if you run normal redstone wire behind the engines, let me grab some peat. And these are going to be running for a while, so I'm not going to fill them up, but I'm going to put, a fair amount in there. So if we put our redstone dust, if I can reach it, behind there, and run it over to a lever, only the one turns on. You have to run a repeater into that one. But if we use this stuff, it should run both of them if we just run the redstone wire next to them. And if you notice, the redstone wire connects to the dust, but as you can see, both of the engines are running. So that's a really cool thing. And if you have your engines, if you have a space underneath them, if you put your dust on the wall right here, not your dust, your red alloy wire, you put your switch over here, that will also run them. So this stuff is really cool. It takes a while to kind of get the hang of how you need to run it and where you need to run it, but as you can see, it'll run up, around, and up the wall, and it's just the best stuff ever. And I don't really want it all there, so I'm going to take this down, and I probably ought to switch those off until I get some conductive pipe up here. So like I said, this is kind of a temporary setup, so I'm just going to put the machines kind of over here. Hopefully there's not a ton of gravel up there. So we do the pulverizer first. So if we put that there, if we right click it, you've got some settings. This is all configurable. If you notice, this side is yellow, the bottom, the right side is red, and the left side is blue. So if we look at that, we've got the blue side on the left side, which is this one. The yellow is the bottom, and if you click it, you can change it. So that's really cool. The default is pretty cool. You just set up left to right, and it works like bam. So anything I put in here, let's just mine this right now. And these do store a little bit of MJ. So if you leave these things running, you notice this is filling up over here. Well, let's say I put my copper in here, it's going to start pulverizing, and it's going to work a little more slowly right now because it's storing the energy. But so this is going to turn into 2 pulverized copper, and it's automatically going to get sucked into the powered furnace next to it. See, we've got one going through and we've got one right here. Now the awesome thing about this, you don't even need a wooden transport pipe. Normally you need a redstone engine and a wooden transport pipe to pull something out of something. But the way this thing works, if you just set this up, and at least this happened to me before, hopefully hopefully it works this time. They disappeared and there they go. So you don't even need a redstone engine on this. It automatically kicks the items out, just like it automatically takes it from this one and puts it in this one. This one automatically kicks it out. So if you have a bunch of stuff to process, you put a hopper. I really like the hopper. You put a hopper. This is what it takes to make it. It holds 4 items, four item slots. You put a hopper on top of your pulverizer, you fill it up with stuff, it automatically goes through here, then it automatically goes through the powered furnace, and then it automatically ends up in your chest. So it's a really good way to automatically process your stuff. What I wanted to try was to put a chest. I'm going to have to knock some of this down. This is what I forgot to try before the episode. I want to put a chest up here to see if that thing will automatically take items out of the chest. And I also want to try, I have this other kind of copper. You see they're both copper. I want to see what happens. If I pulverize this, it should give me 1 dust. Well, I want to see if it'll turn it into the same kind of copper as the other stuff, so it will all stack. And it looks like it turned it into the same pulverized copper. So if you have 2 different types of copper and you want to stack it up, you can do it like that. So let's get everything. Let's see, everything that will go through here. Tin, silver. I think that stuff will pulverize or macerate, I'm not sure. Lead, I think it'll pulverize, but it will not macerate. Let's put it in the pulverizer and see what happens. Looks like it's doing it. So I think lead is either a factorization ore or a thermal expansion ore. But you actually can double your lead as well. So that's good. So I'm going to load up this chest. And it may not take them automatically. I don't think it will, but I wanted to try it just because if it outputs it automatically, maybe it'll take it automatically. And while we're waiting for that to happen, I want to get a little bit more sand, and then we can run this induction smelter. Hopefully I don't drown while I'm doing this. I believe it uses 1 piece of sand per smelting operation. Alright, so let's get out of here. I don't have any dirt. It's alright, I have a sickle. And let me sleep again. I'm going to try to make this episode a little shorter than the last one. I ran a little long, and I even cut out about 4 or 5 minutes. Alright, so it looks like that did not take the stuff from the chest, which is not a big deal. I just wanted to try it out because you never know. So I will most likely, after I process all this ore and set the stuff up for real, I'll put a hopper on top of it. And then I will just, let it do its thing. So let's go ahead and knock these down. We'll run a couple more conductive pipes. I don't really want these to touch, even though it's not an issue because I can change my output. See, that's the bottom. I'll turn that one off. So now, actually, we'll just leave it like that. Whoa, come on, pipes. Now everything will come out the bottom. That's the really cool thing about thermal expansion. You can configure it yourself. So now we've got our smelter. Sand can go in either of these slots. Doesn't matter which. And I put all my ore in that chest up there. I better get some of that out because we don't have anything to cook up. So we'll take a quarter of a stack of iron and the copper. And so we throw our copper in here. This thing runs on 4 MJ, and these other two run on 2 apiece. Or this one runs on 4, I didn't know that. So the more power, the faster they work. This one, see, we got 2 copper ingots. And here it goes again, which is pretty cool. This has 2 output slots, so if you don't have something hooked up to it, the iron will filter in over here. So I can actually do this, and everything should output into the same chest. Not bad if I say so myself. The benefit to using the induction smelter is you have a chance to get slag, I think it is. I'm pretty sure that's what it's called. Maybe it's called something else. You use it to make rock wool. Is rock wool not a thing anymore? Well, that's no good. I thought it was called slag. I know you get it from the slag furnace. Maybe you get rich slag. Oops. Let's see how we get this. Yeah, induction smelter. 20% chance of getting rich slag. 25 of regular slag. So I did not know that you could use rich slag instead of sand. Here's what we need to do. See, that's still full of iron, which is good because I want to grab 2 of these. I want to see what happens if you put your dust or your pulverized stuff in that induction smelter. I never tried that. See, we got rich slag. If we hit U on that, apparently you can only use it in the induction smelter now, but it looks like 2 pulverized anything will turn into 3 of the thing. So that's kind of a way to triple your output. Well, that's cool. I just learned that. I didn't know that. I knew that if I put it in here with sand, it wouldn't do anything. However, rich slag in either slot, it takes the slag and it turns your 2 dust into 3 ingots. So that's basically 3 for 1. But in order to get the slag, you have to use your induction smelter with just regular ores, and then once you get it, then you put it in there with the dust, and then you get 3. So that's pretty awesome. So if you have a bunch of stuff, like I've got a bunch of iron, I want to run my iron through here so I can get the slag, and then I want to pulverize all my copper, which I'm running low on because there's not a ton of it. I think we actually have plenty of gold for now too. So I want to take all my copper dust after the pulverizer takes care of it, and then I'm going to put it in here with the slag, and I'm going to turn it into 3 ingots per ore. So that's pretty awesome. I learned something today. So thanks everybody. If I hadn't done this, then I wouldn't have realized that. So I think I'm going to cut it there because that was probably a good, 15 minutes. I went back over to the wisp thing yesterday, and I got some more wispy essence. and I don't know the difference between the two, but I'm going to hold on to them, and I figure I'll go over there every once in a while and kill it and get the essence. I also thought, well, what if I take those two spawners and turn them into an XP grinder, and then I can make a soul shard and I can kill the skeletons and make my very own skeleton spawner. The only thing is, if you left click this, it doesn't tell you what the recipe is. So I'm going to have to look that up. You may have to cook something in a soul forge. I'm not sure. That you have to cook soul sand in a regular furnace to get vile dust. You use your vile dust and glowstone to make that. And this is easy. This is just, that's not bad. But I thought about that because it takes quite a few kills. Like, I forget what tier 1. I think it might just be 100. And then like the highest tier is like 1,000 or something like that. It's pretty crazy. But I thought it might be cool to go ahead and try to make a soul shard as early as possible, so as I'm playing through and I kill those types of enemies, I can collect their souls and then make a spawner. So I'm going to pull out all this copper dust, and I'm going to put all my iron through the slag furnace. I'll go back over to the desert and get more, and then I'm going to use the slag to turn this into three copper ore. So that's going to do it. There's another guy doing a Let's Play. His name is also Aaron. And I talked to him yesterday, and I think we're going to get together and do some episodes. And we were even talking about like doing a series together. So let us know what you think when we do our little, I think we may guest star in each other's episodes. Let us know what you think about it. And if you guys like it, I haven't really, we haven't ironed it out, but my idea is if you guys think it's good, then when the ultimate pack comes out, which should be, I don't know how long it's going to take, it's not ready yet. When the ultimate pack comes out, we could start a new world together and do every episode together in the ultimate pack. Just my idea. Like I said, I haven't talked to him extensively, and we haven't really, ironed out details, but that's just an idea. So let me know what you think about that. So thanks everybody for watching. As always, if you have any suggestions, comments, or questions, leave them down below. I'll see you next time. Hey guys, one thing I forgot to mention, when you're pulverizing copper in this thing, there's a chance that you get pulverized gold out of it and vice versa. And I think there's one for iron and tin as well. I'm not positive on that, but I think I remember that happening before. So keep that in mind. If you're going to use the pulverizer and you're pulverizing copper, you may get gold. If you're pulverizing gold, you may get copper. And I think it's the same for iron and tin, but it's a very small chance, and you only get the one piece. So keep that in mind. You may want to take the risk, or if you're not going to mess with the induction smelter, no big deal. I made a little setup here, and I'm going to test it out, and if it works, I'll get into it next episode. But anyway, I just wanted to mention that thing because I forgot to mention it, and that's kind of important. So thanks again for watching. I'll see you next time.